When I was 17 or 18 years old, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I knew I wanted a good education. I knew I wanted to serve my country. And I knew that I wanted to work with people. So when looking around for colleges, universities, I saw the Naval Academy. And the Naval Academy seemed to fit all those. Good education, certainly a people-oriented institution and profession, and it certainly allowed me to serve my country, so I picked the Naval Academy.
Hi, I'm Greg Martin from San Diego, California. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Pretty much prepared by reading over reef points they sent us over the summer, just by running and stuff. Athletic preparation. That's pretty much it.
Hi, I'm Chris Matterdock from Moose Lake, Minnesota, and this is I-Day, and today we're probably going to end up getting all of our clothes. Yesterday we sat and unpacked the tons of boxes. You'll get everything. Don't worry about bringing anything. And today we're just going to sit and get our homes ready, get all settled, and get all our uniforms, and find out our squads, and end up taking the oath later tonight. So it should be kind of fun, hopefully.
Into a board, your fingers are all bent up. Try to get them straight like that. Okay, great. Here we go. Okay, now your hands need to be right like that on the seam. That looks good.
Why did I come to the academy? The war was on in World War II, and I came from an army town, Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, and we had career Army officers there, and therefore their sons were in my high school class. I found them studying for a place called West Point. So I became intrigued and started studying to enter West Point. And while learning about West Point, I also learned about a school called the Naval Academy at Annapolis, Maryland. My opportunity came to go to the Naval Academy. I had to decide between the Naval Academy and West Point. Believe me, I made the right decision, and I came here to be a naval officer. And I became a career officer after that.
That's great. Do you think you'll be able to get back for Parents Weekend?
Oh,
sure. Okay, well, you'll be able to get into King Hall and eat a meal during that weekend, so you get to see how it's all set up. It's pretty impressive feeding 4,000 people all at the same time. It's an interesting job because when you're feeding 4,000 midshipmen, you know you can feed steak and lobster, and there's going to be someone complaining about it.
Well, look,
we have everything. We have vegetarians, we have religious people, you know, that can't eat certain items, and you have to deal with that on a daily basis.
That's right.
It makes it very interesting.
Hi, I'm Loretta Fox. This is my husband, Bob. We're here with our son, Tim. We live in Stony Creek, Connecticut, which is near New Haven. It's 6:30 in the morning, and the line is forming. And we haven't found Tim yet since he slept in the yard last night, so we'd like to move on to look for him. He's our fourth son, so we're a little bit emotional this morning, but otherwise we're very excited for him. This is a dream he's had since 7th grade, so it's nice to see dreams come true. That's all.
Second position we're going to teach you, like I said before, is the position of parade rest. It's simply a modified position of attention. Your head and eyes are still straight forward, and you still do not move. If I were to pass in front of you, when you're at the position of parade rest, your eyes should not move, your body should not move. From the position of attention, when the command parade rest is called, parade rest is a 2-count movement. First command is parade, in which time you know the next command is going to be rest. When you hear the command rest, your left foot moves out about shoulder width, like this. Your hands come behind your back, touch that there in the small of your back. Your left hand is up against your back. Your right hand is flush up against your left hand, fingers interlocking like so. Did everybody see this? Okay, so it looks something like this. Parade, rest. Straight from the back side. Parade, rest. Everyone clear? Sir. Okay, try to get just a little bit of interval in between you so you can do this without bumping into your person next to you. Detail! Attend! Parade! Rest!
students.
This is our PhD. Steven.
This one, Mr. Phillips. Fine. Oh, you guys have been together for 4 years, you know that?
Are you being personally sworn in? Personally?
By an officer, do you have somebody special coming to swear you in? Yeah. Or are you just going to get sworn in with everybody else?
Everybody else. Okay. You got one? Yeah. We got one. What's it? Denson. Denson.
What's your last name?
Are you being personally sworn in?
Williams.
Okay.
Last name is Jellema, J-E-L-L.
How do you spell that?
See, that's right. Have you paid your entrance deposit?
Yeah.
Go straight upstairs.
I want you to put your name and your company. We're gonna tie it to your bag and we're gonna take it over to Mitcher and then the 7th wing and you'll pick up later on. Just put G13, I'm sorry. Put your name and you're gonna pick it up in Bancroft Hall later on.
Okay. Put G13 right here.
Come on, down here.
Right here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anywhere so we can see G13.
That's it?
Yeah, hold on, let me tie it right on the back and then you just go ahead and tie it to your bag and just set it over there on the rack over there.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You don't have any paperwork in there that you need, right?
Pardon?
You don't have any paperwork in here that you need.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, go ahead and get it out. Because we're taking your bag. You're gonna pick it up later on in 7th wing. You might be able to see it again, you might not. Who knows? You got anything in there worth keeping? Just kidding. If I were a plebe, I would think it was funny. Just put, what company? Papa, what is it? Papa, 29. Just put P29. Put your name and your company. Write down your company.
Right on there.
I'd like to tell you a little bit about why we do this. It's a record that we maintain back at the Alumni Association. This will stay with us forever. Okay. And we also offer a life membership program. This hall here was built by funds that were given to us from the alumni, and we're sort of proud of that. And we deal a service to the brigade, so by your signing up for a life membership on your graduation, you in turn will give things back to the brigade. So I'd like you to fill these out for me.
Okay.
My name is Sarah Schopp. I'm from Wind Lake, Wisconsin, and there are many reasons why I'm here. Pretty much because I would like the challenge that I'm going to be getting here this summer, and I feel that I can go through with what they're going to do to me.
Can't see what I'm doing.
You don't need to see, you just shave it all off, right?
By the Braille system.
I got a lot of bumps.
Where are you from?
Iowa.
Iowa?
Yep.
Got some brains up there, don't you?
Too much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
My name is Tommy Watkins Jr. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, and I came here to learn. I like this place. It had everything I wanted. The physical training, a chance to serve my country and get a good college education. And I just like to say I'm just glad to be here, and we're going to make it, Class of 97.
What do you think about today so far?
Real busy. A lot of stuff to do, a lot of things to get.
What do you think is going to happen the rest of the day?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm looking forward to it or dreading it.
Here at pizza tonight.
All right.
So you want shrimp?
Pardon?
Just a little more?
Yeah. It's good that there's not a mirror here.
Huh?
It's good that there's not a mirror here.
It's good that what?
There is not a mirror here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You will scare yourself.
Yes. Next person, punch card, please.
Punch card, that one.
M through Z is over here.
Spent 2.5 years out in Monterey.
Yeah.
Upstairs to station.
You stand right here, Mr. Cameron. Next, please. Miss Booth. Where are you from, Miss Booth? Albuquerque. I guess there's only one of those, so I know what state that's in, right?
Signs, get me help.
So I guess there's only one of those, so I know where that is. Great.
Hey, Mr. Klein, upstairs, station 2. Mr. Gross. Father in the service, Mr.
You
Gross?
stay in line. Oh, you can wait over here. What's your last name? Graves. Your brother or sisters here? No?
I've seen their names. Okay. On by your side, babe. By your side. 39. 32. 33. Okay? Upstairs.
Thank you.
Next one, give me your yellow paper, please. There you go. Come on close. Put your hand by your side, please. 36, 31, 33. Upstairs.
Code, the 97 number. Third line is your company letter and your company number. So your Davis T first line, 97 whatever second line, Q31 third line. 3 lines on the bag.
Okay.
First line is your last name, first initial. Second line is your 97 number, 97 whatever. Third line is Foxtrot and 11.
Okay.
I'm the sister of Larry Roth. He's a plebe here this year. And I go to Germantown Academy. I'm Jamie Roth and from Pennsylvania.
Your bag open and your yellow form, okay? There we go. And we'll put one in your bag, and one in your hand to hold. You will be putting them on. And I want you to just go down there and have a seat with the other guys, love, okay? All right?
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
And I'm Larry's mother. I'm Diane, and I'm as proud as can be that he decided to do this. He could have gone to a lot of schools, and he had one in mind and would only go to one. So we're just all very proud of him.
I'm Larry's father. Larry got started early in his sophomore year of interest in the Naval Academy and never wavered, wanted to stay down here every time we came to the area, and I'm very proud that he's going, and he worked very hard to get here.
I'm Larry Roth's grandmother, and I feel very important for all the grandmothers because I'm responsible for this along with the rest of them. This is one of the proudest moments of my life. I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, this way. Let me see your name.
Good recorder.
Yes, sir.
This is you don't know?
Stay right there. Yeah. Walking suitcase and then. Seven.
Okay, everybody, listen up. All right, everybody try on everything. Everything fits. Everybody's doing okay. All right? Don't mark it, don't wear it, don't launder it. If you do, we will not take it back. We are a retail store. Make sure everything fits, because if it doesn't, we won't take it back. Your briefs, very important with the briefs. Make sure you try one package on. Don't open any more than one package until you try them on. We will not take them back. Make sure they fit. If they don't fit, the other 4 packages can be returned, and you can get the proper size. We don't want you to mess up all your briefs. Deficiencies. Those of you who did not receive all your items received a deficiency. Those items, when they come in, you will be notified. You are not charged for those items until they actually come in. Make sure you hold on to your copies of your deficiencies, because you'll need those when you come to pick them up. Every company will have a time to come pick up their exchanges and do exchanges. You'll be assigned the times next week. Make sure you make note of that time next week. We will take all exchanges up to the 30th of July. So anybody that has anything to exchange from the issue boxes or anything until the 30th of July. You've signed for over $541 worth of merchandise. Please make sure you have everything. When you get up to your rooms, do an inventory of everything that you are supposed to have. You have a copy in your folder of the yellow form that you all signed. When you go ahead to your room, make sure you have all those items minus your deficiencies. Box issues. You all have boxes in your room. There's 3 of them. Inventory them from the packing list, okay? When you go ahead, make sure if you don't have something in the packing list, make sure you write it on the discrepancy form on the back. Make sure somebody gets those items to you. You're paying for everything, $1 pen, no matter what it is. You're being charged for all those items. So no matter what it is, you need to get those items. Do you have any questions? Anybody? Okay. Keep your bags closed, and you need to go over to the checkout counter.
Here you are, Jason A. All right. Mr. Shepard. How you doing, Mr. Shepard? Long day already?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Green. You aren't the prior enlisted Green, are you? No. Okay. We were missing one. You can head that way. Mr. Eaton? Let's see.
Where are you from?
Indiana.
Indiana. Okay, all right. Waist 28.5 inches. Okay. And let's see, Miss 30 inches. Okay. All righty, good luck.
And your name is?
Kimberly Arrington.
Kimberly?
From King, North Carolina.
King, North Carolina.
It's about 20 miles northwest of Winston-Salem.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I'm right from Alexandria, Virginia. Really? So what do you think on your first day here?
Well, it hasn't been too bad.
Not too bad?
No, I'm excited. We took a lot of the female incoming plebes out in the line as it wound around, and we talked and got to know each other before then, so it wasn't too bad.
It's not too intimidating yet?
No, not yet.
No? Good, good.
But, of course, we're naive now.
No, not at all, not at all.
Okay.
Well, do you have anything to say to your mom and dad?
Well, I have a lot of family. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Well, I have a lot of family up here. They met in D.C., and then my father went to Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem.
Okay.
Bishop McGinnis.
Okay.
Already had these 2 guys, right?
Okay, here's a copy of everything you received today. Make sure everything fits before you mark it, because if you mark it and you put your name inside, then we cannot take it back, okay? There you go. Thank you. Okay, here's a copy of your deficiency. When your swimsuit comes in, you'll be notified by mail. And you just come down to the midshipman store and pick it up, and I need you to sign and date the bottom, please.
Very good.
What you want to do is take your hand, tuck the thumb right behind the hand, bring it up. From your elbow to your shoulder should be parallel to the deck. From the tip of your hand to your shoulder or to your elbow. Should be straight as a board. Also at a 45-degree angle right here. Come up at a salute, come up, snap, crisp, and come back down. Your hand should be almost canted slightly forward and unmoving, straight, always. See it? Mr. Average? Make sure your thumb's behind your hand, okay? Okay? Make sure your thumb is tucked in. It's gonna feel uncomfortable, okay? That's the way it should be. Just kindly, thumb tucked. Bring it up more. Perfect. Got it. When you bring your hand up, it should almost touch your cover, come as high as your eyebrow, okay? But not over your eyebrow. Bring it out more. Come as far as where your cover would come, in line with your eyebrow, and then down. Over more. Okay. Mr. Moore? Perfect. Mr. Graham? Bring it out. Try it again. The tip of your hand, tip of your finger should come right here. Can it down a little bit. Stevenson? Ramirez? Mr. Jones? Make sure your thumb is tucked on right next to your hand, okay? Not out like this. Perfect. Cant your hand a little bit like this, other way. Okay. Perfect. Wait, make sure your arm is right here, should be parallel with the deck, okay? 45-degree. Tuck your thumb in also. Like this, thumb in. And hand straight. Can a little bit. Can it this way, towards me, okay? Johnson, keep your hand straight. Can a little bit, okay? Job, super. All right, I'm gonna see if there's a bus ready for you guys. Hang tight, we'll be on our way to medical pretty soon.
and the Atlantic, but the Atlantic isn't romantic and the Pacific isn't what it's cracked up to be. We joined the Navy to do or die, but we didn't do and we didn't die. We were much too busy looking at the ocean and the sky, and what did we see? We saw the sea. We saw the Atlantic and the Pacific, but the Pacific isn't terrific and the Atlantic isn't what it's cracked up to be. They tell us that the Admiral is as nice as he can be, but we never see the Admiral because the Admiral has never been to sea. We joined the Navy to see the girls. What do we see? We saw the sea. Instead of a girl or two in a taxi, we were compelled to look at the Black Sea. Seeing the Black Sea is what it's cracked up to be. Sailing, sailing home again to see the girls upon the village green.
Right. To my right, this is a right face. Cock and drive. Okay. The left face, cock and drive. Okay, so look at it from behind. A right face, cock and drive. Left face, cock and drive. Step out here. You know how to do it, right? Yeah, all of you step forward so you're not by the wall. And you step forward even more. Okay, give me a good position of attention. Your right face. Okay, see how she did that? Fall back in with them. Okay, everybody, give me a right face. Cock, drive. Give me a left face. Cock, drive. So when you're in formation, get a good position of attention. Platoon commander will say, right face. On face, it's cock and drive. Left face, cock and drive. That's the timing. It's timing, so we all get it down together. Cock and drive. Okay, that's the basics for facing. Later on, you'll learn an about face, which is a little more difficult. And you learn how to turn in columns when you're marching. But that's good knowledge for now. Your squad leaders will take care of the rest.
You can't put a price on friendships, 'cause real ones aren't for sale. They'll celebrate your victories and they'll be there when you fail. So tell them that you love them and show them how you feel, and hold them to your heart with a solid band of steel. A new friend is like a fine wine. They can only get better with time. So here's a toast to friendship. May they never
Not now. Eat now. Just if they're talking to you directly. It's just a matter of respect. It's polite. The upper classes at the table will always be served first. The person who is sitting to the left, you would be in the hot seat, what they call a hot seat. You're responsible for making sure that the upper class always have food, water, enough of what they need. Make sure that they're served first. Make sure that you have the proper serving utensils on the plates. You'll be sitting on the front 3 inches of your chair. Should be keeping your hands in your lap if you're not using them. You shouldn't be using 2 at a time. Always keep your napkin in your lap. Exercise table manners, common courtesy.
Get better with time. So here's a toast to friendships. May they never end. And here's to you, my new old friend.
This morning, a few short hours ago, you said goodbye to your sons and daughters right outside the door of this very hall. And since then, they've gone through about 20 different stations here within Alumni Hall to receive a haircut, a little trim, shots, blood tests, some of the medical things, issuing their uniforms. And that continues over in Bancroft Hall in the medical department there. We're continuing with the medical checks, getting them organized and into their companies and units and squads, and they're meeting roommates and friends for the first time. And I might say the young men and women that they are meeting right now while we're sitting here are probably those who will be their closest, most intimate friends for the remainder of their lives. So it's a very important part that's going on. It starts today and it'll continue throughout the next 6 or 7 weeks until we all rejoin back here for Parents' Weekend and the end of Plebe Summer in the middle of August. I know many of you have some trepidation about what is my son and daughter into, what is this all about, and as I mentioned over the Alumni House, that it's quite natural for you to show a little nervousness, but particularly for your sons and daughters at this particular time. And if I had to do all over again, I remember very well the summer of 1960 coming here to the Naval Academy, and if I were going through what they're going through today, walking in strange and new and all of the things they have to go through, I would be nervous too, even today, as, looking back on it 33 years later. But I can assure you that we are part of a family here. The things that we work very hard, we realize, and I look back to the summer of 1960, coming from Ohio, the only member of my family to ever be in uniform, to come from Ohio to Annapolis, Maryland, civilian to the military, high school to a college environment. All of these are a pretty big transition for any 17, 18, 19-year-old. We understand that, we recognize that, and that's why during the upcoming 6 or 7 weeks of this plebe summer, one of the things that we really stress with the upper class and those conducting the plebe summer training is that we accentuate the positive. Leadership by example. Respect for the worth and dignity of each and every one of your sons and daughters, the young people coming in. And it goes without saying that 6 or 7 weeks from now, you will have difficulty recognizing that young person that you turned over to us. And but I can promise you it'll be much for the better. The summer is going to be a very full summer. I told the young people whenever I meet them, and told many of the parents and alumni groups and those who are prospective candidates and parents, that I promise you that our program here at the Naval Academy will be a challenging one. That is one thing that we definitely promise. We will challenge your young person academically, athletically, and as a person. The summer, plebe summer, is the first of that, and we start that, and that'll be starting tomorrow morning when they get up, whatever time Reveille is. I've talked to Jim, but it's 5:30 in the morning, and they start with the physical exercise program with calisthenics. That's how they start their day every day. And so it's physical, and it's demanding, and it's challenging, and but again, it's all for a purpose to see them grow and mature and develop as leaders. And that's what this school is about, among all others, is to see that we have quality leaders 4 years from now. They will, during their plebe summer, they will learn to reach far beyond the capabilities that they now have. And this class is no different than many, many classes, although with each class it seems to get better and better. We had 1191, I think was the final count, 1191 showed up today for induction day. And of that was 167 women, females in the class. Everyone from me on down, and you'll meet most of them here on the platform today, and a lot of the leadership here, we are here to work with you young people, to watch them and assist them to grow and mature and develop during the 4 years here. The summertime, again, as I've said, is to teach them to be resourceful, to be flexible, learn how to adapt. We teach them a concept of shipmate and self, and that is from our fleet experience. The whole purpose of this school is to provide leadership for our Navy and Marine Corps, leadership for this nation. And if you're going to be a leader, and many of you as mature adults in your own businesses and your own families, you understand you put yourself last. And it's that way out on the fleet. You've got to think, what effect is this thought, word, or deed going to have on my ship or team, my shipmates, my teammates, whatever it may be, and then what does it do for me? And we start that right off in plebe summer. To be a good leader, you got to learn followership. That translates to discipline. And again, but without anything that is degrading or demeaning to the individual. And in fact, we accentuate the positive here and work very hard to bring them up to the level of all of our midshipmen here. All of you can be quite proud of the statistics of this class, and we're still compiling it all, but as I've said before, the SAT scores, both math and verbal, increase with each incoming class. The percentage of those who are in the top 1/5 of the class, those who have been presidents and vice presidents, those who have been Eagle Scouts, National Honor Scholars, they're all here. 89%, I think it was, were received varsity athletes, varsity letters in high school, or participated in varsity athletics in high school. So a very bright, talented group of young people that any school in the country would be very proud to have, and we are no different. We are extremely proud, and I think that as this Plebe summer experience continues, they're going to be very sore and they're going to be very tired, and they're going to be challenged, but they're also going to be full of pride when you see them in August. There's a Reef Points is a small book that they have been issued already today, and it's one of the rates of a plebe, is one of the requirements is to memorize and know all the information in Reef Points, and one of the items in there is the qualifications of a naval officer as dictated by John Paul Jones, and in it was there in 1960 when I came here. We memorized it then, but I think it's very important that in the very final paragraph, he says, in one word, every commander should keep constantly before him the great truth, that to be well obeyed, he must be perfectly esteemed. And so not only do we provide your son and daughter a quality education here at the Naval Academy with a quality athletic program, but we are, unlike any other school in the country, we are very much concerned with that personal, emotional, moral, and ethical development so that we have that leader when he graduates from here to be the commander that is perfectly esteemed. So I think that you will see that as a class of 1997 embarks upon a journey today, a 4-year journey, that you and I and they will be in together to see them grow and mature and provide that leadership for our future. And not just of the Navy and the Marine Corps, but for our nation as well. So it is a great pleasure, privilege, and an honor for us to have your sons and daughters with us, to have you as part of our team. And I look forward to having the opportunity to spend more time with you and your sons and daughters in the coming years. Thank you.
I remember being in your place. I remember being here Plebe summer 32 years ago. It seems like a long time, but it's gone quickly for me. I was a young 17-year-old from Nebraska, right out of high school. I'd never seen an ocean when I reported to the Naval Academy. I was lonesome, and I was homesick, and I was scared. And I dare say that many of you have just been through what may have been the most confusing day of your life, and you feel apprehensive. And for some of you, the next few days may be even more so. But let me assure you that untold classes have passed before you and they've survived. One of the plebes told me last summer that Plebe summer is like a video cassette recorder on fast forward.
I had a tough time my Plebe year. Like many of you, I had very little in my background that would have prepared me for this place. I tried out for football, boxing, track, only be told over and over that my talents lay elsewhere not clearly defined. Marching wasn't my forte. I just couldn't seem to get my left and right feet in the right sequence. Even dear old Professor Gilly, the musical director, very gently suggested that I wasn't cut out for the Glee Club. I was ready to toss it all and go home. We had been told by the upperclassmen that in order to resign, we had to find a CIR brick, They told us that somewhere amongst these thousands of bricks out here in Tecumseh Court, there was one brick that had the initial CIR engraved thereon. And CIR stood for Christ, I Resign. In order to resign, they told us, we had to find that brick, stand on it, and yell 3 times at the top of our lungs, Christ, I Resign, and then we could leave. Well, we were plebes, we believed anything. So there I was one afternoon, fed up, had it all, crawling around on my hands and knees out here looking for the CIR brick. And all of a sudden, in front of me, I see a pair of highly shined khaki shoes. And I knew I was in trouble. And just what do you think you're doing down there, mister? I knew who it was. It was one of the most feared upperclassmen. It was a guy named Pete Van Noort. Pete was a football player, and he was pretty tall, but that day, when I looked up at him, he looked like he was 12 feet tall. And I was scared, and I couldn't quite squeeze it out. I said, I'm looking for Christ, was all I could stammer. Well, you better hope you find him, he replied, because when I finish with you, you're going to need the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And he began to administer some training. Well, I was just about ready to pack it in and tell him what he could do with the Naval Academy when one of the company officers, a young Marine first lieutenant, walked up. And he could see the tears welling up in my eyes, and he knew that I had reached the end of a string. And he said, I'll take over here. And he put his arm around me and he talked to me for about 2 minutes. And to this day, I cannot remember a word that he said. But I just remember how he said it. And somehow he convinced me that somebody cared and that somewhere down deep inside of me, I had what it took to make it. And I made up my mind then and there that I was going to see it through. And like the songwriter says, with a little help from my friends, here I am, 33 years later, still at it.
The Naval Academy also teaches you something that's been very important to me, and that's the ability to understand when you get knocked down, you pick yourself back up. You know, Booker T. Washington once said, I have learned that success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life, is by the obstacles which one is to overcome while trying to succeed. In other words, when you get knocked down, you've got to pick yourself back up. And that's perseverance. You just can't quit. You cannot quit. The Naval Academy teaches you, you can't quit. I wanted to quit plebe summer a lot of times. Even plebe year, it was difficult. There was times I wanted to quit, but you can't quit. You can't do it. You've got to be able to understand when you're knocked down, you pick yourself back up.
And I can only tell you from personal experience, remembering 32 years ago on my I-Day from Lima, Ohio, came here scared to death, the only member of my family ever to be in uniform, not knowing what to expect, but found this school to be everything that it has been billed to be. And during the 4 years here, one of the most fantastic 4 years that I've ever had. And now, as I look back, having 28 years on active service, I graduated in '64, 28 years of active service in a very demanding, rewarding, and challenging profession. I can tell each of you that that same experience holds forth for your son and daughter, and that I promise.
Plebe summer is the first part of what we try to do, and I've thought about it for a while, and I think it's easiest to think about what we're trying to do here. And as I think of it, I think of 4 goals. And the four goals we have are: we want to instill confidence in each of the young men and women. We want to make sure that they're competent. We want to build upon and refine and hone the integrity that you have taught them. and we want to make sure they have the stamina to do the right thing and to keep on working until it gets done right. You will find when you see your midshipmen in a few weeks from now, and it'll go by very quickly for you and not quite so quickly for them, I suspect, but you'll find out that they've grown. It's more than just a different haircut. They will have more confidence on Parents' Weekend than they have now because they will have done it. They will have completed Plebe Summer, and I always marvel the first day of the exercise period the Admiral mentioned, PEP. The first morning of PEP, the plebes are out there and their eyes are all this big around and their mouths are all, they look like scared deer running back and forth because they have no idea whether they can make this thing or not. And then the last day of PEP, when there are parents in the bleachers, you see those kids running up and down that field and they got flint in their eyes and they know they can do it. And it's unbelievable. It's an amazing transition and you'll be the proudest people in the world next to me, I promise. That's the first step, and we continue to build that confidence throughout the 4 years by challenging them. The technical competence aspects of the education here, I think, are essential because the military forces that we will lead in the future will be very technically oriented. We must teach them both the competence in the technical sense, but also in the leadership sense. The integrity part, you've done an excellent job, or your children wouldn't be here. But we will refine that. We will improve upon it. We will cause them to think about it a great deal because the essence of the military officer, if he or she is to be successful, is the finest sense of personal integrity. And finally, the stamina, I think that stamina is not just physical. Stamina includes being able to have the intellectual and mental toughness to continue to stand up for what's right and to keep on after it until it gets done. My job in all this is to make sure that the environment at the Naval Academy is conducive to the fact that each one of your midshipmen is allowed to attain his or her potential. And that I work very, very hard to make sure that the environment here is supportive of their best efforts toward becoming the leaders of the 21st century. And I am completely confident that with your love and with your support for your midshipmen, that they will attain that potential, and I thank you in advance for that.
The plebe detail for the class of 1997.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the March on the Colors, the National Anthem, and the invocation.
Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Hines, Chaplain Corps, United States Navy.
Shall we pray? Eternal Father, creator of all that is, we know that you will be with the class of 1997 as they begin this journey of indoctrination. Give them your spirit so that they may grow in a commitment to the highest ideals of duty, honor, and loyalty to our country. Give your blessings to the parents, the families, and friends of these young men and women for all that they have been given by your grace. Thank you, Lord, for listening to the stirring of all of our hearts and our minds at this moment. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Candidates, seats. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. In recognition of the class of 1997, the Sunday Punchers of VA 75 and their A6 intruders. Ladies and gentlemen, the Superintendent of the United States Naval Academy, Rear Admiral Thomas C. Lynch.
Dean Shapiro, Commandant Paget, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends of the great class of 1997, welcome to the United States Naval Academy. It is a privilege for me to officially welcome you here today. And before I make my official remarks, I would like for you to join me in giving a round of applause to the newest edition of Naval Academy Excellence, the prospective members of the class of 1997. We are extremely pleased and proud to welcome this new class to the Naval Academy. This class draws together the very best young Americans from across our great nation, north, south, east, west. And we also have 9 international students in this class, representing Cameroon, Colombia, Egypt, Maldives, Nigeria, Poland, Singapore, Thailand, and Turkey. So the diversity of this class represents not only the diversity of this nation, but of the world in which we live as well. Today, we draw this unique, diverse group of individuals together, give them a new name, the class of 1997, remind them how very special they are, and then we send them off on a voyage of personal discovery. This ceremony, this induction ceremony, is where it all begins. It is this ceremony, not unlike the one I went through as a plebe during the summer of 1960, that begins to pull this class together, define their purpose, and guide their way. Induction Day is the Naval Academy tradition, but a tradition with a very tangible purpose. For these young men and women now become part of a heritage of excellence, becoming links in an unbroken chain of Naval Academy excellence that represents nearly 150 years and 5 generations of naval experience. And the oath they take today separates them from other college students and university freshmen in this great nation. The oath, which is a very simple statement, makes each of these young men and women an heir to Naval Academy tradition of excellence. They join a long list of men and women who have committed themselves to a lifetime of selfless service to their fellow man. You'll notice I said a lifetime of service. We know that not all of the men and women in this class who will graduate 4 years from now will remain for a career of military service. Nevertheless, all Academy graduates share a common trait. They will always continue to serve their fellow man. And to you, the great members of the class of 1997, I remind you that there is only one reason why this great institution exists. Only one reason why the American people and our elected representatives in Congress continue to fund the excellence that occurs here. Our fundamental purpose is to produce leaders. Our product is leadership. There are many fine colleges and universities in this country to educate our young people, but there is no other institution of higher education and training in this nation that seeks to do what we do, that pulls together so many individual threads of personal development to create a whole cloth of personal excellence. And so each of you are now here in Annapolis seeking the challenge whose watchwords are leadership and professionalism. Therefore, I say to you, to use the well-known quote, today is truly the first day of the rest of your life. As you can already tell, from haircuts to practicing salutes, I-Day and Plebe Summer are not the student orientation day at other universities. There is a good reason for this. The Naval Academy is unlike any other civilian college or university, and that is because the profession of leadership for which you are preparing is unlike any other profession. You are preparing for nothing less than a top-level leadership position on the nation's greatest team, the Navy and Marine Corps of tomorrow. And you may wonder if 4 years from now, because of the recent historic events, the fall of the Berlin Wall, the dissolution of the Soviet Union, reduction in defense budgets, closing of military bases, if there will be a need for the Navy and Marine Corps team. And these are valid concerns for which there are ready answers that have stood the test of time. At the Constitutional Convention, more than 200 years ago, a member made a motion to restrict the standing armed forces of the United States to no more than 5,000 men. When George Washington heard this, he replied that he would agree to that resolution only if the convention also agreed to an amendment prohibiting armies from invading the United States with more than 3,000 troops. Almost 217 years later, and we as a nation still cannot legislate peace. Peace must be earned. So while times change and little remains the same, there is one thing I can predict with 100% accuracy. The need for a strong and ready Navy and Marine Corps with top-level leadership is as persistent today as at any time in our nation's history. The world is not yet at peace. Recent events in the Persian Gulf requiring the judicious use of military force against Iraq in the form of cruise missiles fired from Navy ships certainly emphasizes that point. And as President Clinton told the brigade here during his visit in early April, and I quote, "We have entered a new world that will test us in many ways. Our Navy will play an important role in getting us past those tests, as it has throughout our history. To help the men and women in our Navy perform effectively and safely, we will need talented, committed leadership as never before. Whatever form it takes, Naval Academy leadership will make an important contribution to the Navy and to the security of our nation," unquote. You, the men and women of the class of 1997, will be that leadership someday. The voyage to become that leader begins today. I congratulate each of you on having made it to this point. The admissions board of the Naval Academy carefully sifted through more than 12,000 applications to find each of you. You are the best and brightest in this nation. and the world has to offer. Any college or university in the country would be proud to count you among their student body. You come to us as achievers, and now we shall challenge you to maintain that momentum. This challenge will continue not just during Plebe summer, but for your entire 4 years at this great institution. We will challenge you academically, athletically, and as a person. Your moral and personal development is as important to me as is your scholastic achievement. This summer will be the first taste, for you will learn during the next few hot and humid weeks to march, the meaning of physical readiness, to shoot a pistol and a rifle. You will learn the basics of sailing, hand-to-hand combat, and shipboard damage control. You will also learn the art of followership, which is the first step of leadership. And you will be reminded about the correct way to treat one another and to work together with respect and dignity without regard to sex, race, or national origin. You will learn to put selfish notions aside and learn to concentrate on the selflessness of leadership, something we call shipmate, and self. For if you are to become a leader, you must learn early on to put yourself last in every thought, word, and deed, and to think first of your unit, then of your shipmates and your classmates and your teammates. And finally, after all other concerns, do you think of yourself? You will also learn about the Navy's core values, values we hold so dear. And yet, in the wake of the tailhook episode, values we must either relearn or reinforce. These are the same values that have been crafted and forged in your homes through the love, care, and guidance received from family and friends. These core values of honesty, integrity, morality, and ethical behavior will be tempered and honed during the next 4 years. Finally, and most importantly, you will learn about yourself, the absolute limit of your own abilities. You will know your strengths and your weaknesses, develop or fine-tune the personal characteristics to make you a better person and leader, and come to the realization that you, as an individual, have an opportunity to make an impact here at the Academy, within our Navy and Marine Corps, and someday within our nation. These are the valuable lessons that no one can learn in a classroom alone. There's a tradition at most college orientation days when the dean tells the freshmen, look to your left and to your right. One of you won't be here in 4 years. That doesn't happen here at the Naval Academy. In fact, we will do our very best to help each of you make it through your 4 years. Our goal is to have each of you succeed, to raise each and every one of you to a higher plane of achievement, to strengthen you as an individual, and to assist you to overcome personal weakness, to produce team unity and strength, and most importantly, to achieve your full potential. Your summer here will be tougher than that experienced by many of your friends. There will be little time to reflect on accolades past. But remember this, ultimately, it will be your own personal fortitude, determination, and effort that will get you through. And the goal is well worth the struggle. And when you think you are alone, or different, or unique, remember that you share common traits, not only with your classmates, but with all those who have gone before. Selflessness in heart, drive, determination, and a desire to succeed, and excellence in all that you do. Good luck to each of you, during your personal voyage of discovery that begins today. Captain Paget, would you please administer the oath of office?
Raise your right hands. Having been appointed a midshipman in the United States Navy, do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you are about to enter, so help you God. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You're now the class of 1997. Welcome aboard.
Will the guests of the class of 1997 please rise for the retiring of the colors? Midshipman First Class Bellotti will now lead us in the singing of Navy Blue and Gold.
Now college men from sea to sea may sing of colors true, but who has better right than we to hoist a simple view? For sailor men in battle fair, since fighting days of old, have proved the sailor's right to wear the navy blue and gold.
Midshipmen, your next formation is at 1900 inside formation areas. Midshipmen desiring to meet with guests may do so along Stribling Walk immediately to the rear. Meet by signs that correspond to the first letter of the midshipman's last name. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. Midshipmen, dismissed.